What is happening, guys? Welcome back to Redbeard's Garage and welcome to the Road to Horsepower. The Road to Horsepower is a brand new series we're starting on our YouTube channel where we take a 212cc engine and we add performance parts just like you guys would, one piece at a time, and we check the horsepower before and after. We're going to start with the cheapest and mildest performance parts and end up with a fully billet engine making crazy horsepower. We're going to start off with a Predator 212cc Hemi from Harbor Freight. Now you can get a Hemi or a non-Hemi variant. We decided to go with the Hemi because they seem to be easier to find in the stores in all locations. So the Hemi just has a hemispheric combustion chamber and it's said to make a little bit more power stock than a non-Hemi. We may end up putting a non-Hemi style head on this engine later, but we'll cross that road when we get to it. For this video, we're going to be starting off with a air filter adapter, and a jet. If you see any parts throughout this series that you want to buy or you want to try out for yourself, you can always find them in the video's links. This does help us continue to do these videos and continue doing our research on what performance parts actually makes a difference. We're also going to be adding a performance header with muffler. Now we're going to test this with the muffler on and with it off. Now I personally like these engines to have a muffler. I don't like the way they sound without a muffler with just a straight header. But we are going to test it both ways because some people like to run them without a muffler. We're going to see if the muffler is restricting down the engine. Of course, we know this is going to make more horsepower because we're letting the engine breathe better and we're giving it more fuel. But how much is to be determined by the dyno. So we got an awesome supporter of the channel. Mark is an AMSOIL dealer, so you can find his links down below as well, and he provided us with this dyno to be able to give you guys these results that we find. We also are going to be using only AMSOIL products on this dyno. We're going to start by using this break-in oil from AMSOIL. Once the engine's fully broke in and we think the rings are seated, then we'll drain the break-in oil out and we're going to switch over to Dominator racing oil. This is going to give us better lubrication through our engine and free up a little bit of horsepower. You definitely don't want to be running the engine a ton off break-in oil because it is just for what it says, breaking in the engine, getting the bearings broke in, getting the rings seated. Then you need to switch over to something like the Dominator racing oil. We're also going to be adding one of our magnetic dipsticks because these engines do not have a filter. So we're going to try to keep the engine as clean as possible with one of these dipsticks. And again, you can find links to everything that we're using in this video series linked down below. They do help us continue to grow this series and do even more experiments. So what we're going to do is get this set up on the dyno. We're going to get it broke in. Then we're going to start doing some dyno pulls to find out what it makes stock and then get on to the performance parts. We're also going to be doing a little real world testing. We're going to take the engine and slap it on a mini bike and take it out and do a 0 to top speed run. Then we're going to look at how fast it got to that top speed and what top speed it did achieve before and after every performance part. This will be a way to show you guys a real world test with this thing other than you seeing dyno graphs and dyno numbers. I think it'll be good to have both in there. So let's get this engine broke in and let's see what kind of power it makes. All the tests in this video will be done with a throttle stop screw removed. This limits the travel of the throttle and keeps the engine from its full out of the box performance. Next, we went through the engine break-in process. We put the engine under a load and ride it around the field at about 40% throttle. We do this for 30 minutes and it helps to seat the rings and break in the engine. Once the engine is broke in, we drain the break-in oil and we replace it with Dominator racing oil. Now we're ready to do our testing. So we're going to be doing all of our testing on this Hewitt inertia dyno. We got our 212 mounted up, we have our oil in it, and the only temperatures we're going to be checking with this particular run is the head temperature. We have a probe sandwiched in between the spark plug and the head. So what we're going to do is do about 4 to 5 pulls to get the engine up to temperature without reading any kind of dyno results. Then we're going to do 3 baseline pulls. We're going to take an average of those 3 pulls. I feel like that's the best way because these numbers will fluctuate some of this engine. So we'll do our 3 pulls, then we'll do the performance parts, do our other 3 pulls once it's back up to temperature, and then see what the difference is between the parts. With the stock numbers in the books, we can now install the performance parts. First, we need to remove the factory air box. With the fuel shut off, we can crack open the bolt and drain any remaining fuel. Use a narrow flathead screwdriver and remove the factory jet. The emulsion tube will come out with the jet. We'll be reusing the factory emulsion tube. Install the new performance jet, the emulsion tube, and the fuel bolt. Next, slide on the air filter adapter and tighten using the factory nuts. Make sure to tighten the choke hold down. Last, we can remove the factory muffler and install our performance header. Make sure to pick up a new gasket to ensure there's no exhaust leaks. We're now ready for our testing with the performance parts.
1 mile an hour less, 39, but it got there quicker for sure.
Did it?
Yeah.
Screenshot it. Does it feel?
I said it hit 40 because I reset it and it's saying max 40.
Okay. So does it feel quite a bit faster?
Yeah, it's quicker for sure. Once you hit about 34, 35, it flattens out on both. Yeah. But it got up there quicker, it felt like.
Well, do us a burn ski. Hold the front brakes and do a burn ski.
You know I will.
Yeah! Oh, great. She's totaled.
You on X Games mode.
When comparing the numbers from stock to stage 1, the engine had an overall gain of 35% more horsepower and 33% more torque over the stock engine. The 0 to 35 mile per hour was 25% faster, shaving over 2 seconds off the time. The 0 to 39 miles per hour was 50% faster, shaving 6 seconds off of our time. It was also interesting to see that we lost 3.65% of our horsepower without the muffler and 1.5% of our torque. This could also be due to the shorter header length once the muffler was pulled off, but it was just cool to note that. Guys, we appreciate you watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did making it. This is an awesome way to be able to show you that these parts we've been preaching about for years actually do their job. So we highly encourage you, if you're interested in these parts or any of the tools we use, to make sure to check out the links in the video's description. We also have everything linked that we're going to be doing to this engine in the future. So with next episode, we're going to be doing the governor removal, billet flywheel, and valve springs. I think that's going to be a huge gain, but I was super impressed with 35% more horsepower and 33% more torque from stock to stage 1. And we can feel that. We've always been able to feel that, but it's hard to convey that over video to you guys. And now we have the tools to be able to do so, thanks to Mark, that is the Amsoil dealer. So make sure to check out the links for the parts. Go Power Sport supplied us with the parts to make this happen. So much love to them, and make sure to use those links if you're interested. And they do help us continue to do this Road to Horsepower series. The series is only going to get better from here, guys. We got graphic overlays we're getting made right now, and the video will keep getting higher quality as we go to give you guys more results, more data. And it's just awesome making these videos that we've been dreaming about for years. So we really appreciate any kind of feedback, whether it's negative or positive things you would like to see, or if you just like the series, make sure to comment all that down below, because it shows that our videos are appreciated. And make sure to like if you do, and make sure to share the video wherever possible. So thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you on the next episode, where we start removing the governor and making even more power with this Predator 212 Hemi. We love you guys, and we appreciate all your support. Thank you for watching, and God bless.